Hello, this is a Leshark and Friends
And Russell.
and Russell podcast. And on today's show, we talk to awesome photographer k.Stam. At 18, Stam came to Phuket and started working in Central Department Store food court. After a not-so-chance meeting with a super handsome photographer, Stam found her passion of taking pictures. Learning on the job at some of the biggest weddings in Phuket, her job took her around the world taking pictures and learning in places like Greece, London and New York. Stam's love for dogs has led her to starting her own business. Stam Chana Fine Art Photography, where she specialises in taking pictures of pets. She'll even do hamsters. Stam is one of the nicest people we know, super beautiful, smart and amazing photographer. She's cool. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the podcast. Oh, Russell, once again...
Hello, Jay.
Hello, mate. We're in Bake. Other bakes are available. And once again, you're stealing our guest's little cookie.
To be fair, I did ask.
You did ask. Hello, Stam.
Hello.
K.Stam?
We start now?
We started ages ago.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. Stam,
Be sorry afterwards.
what's your full name?
My full name?
Yeah,
Are you sure you want to know?
Yes.
It's really, really long.
go for it.
My full name is Stam Chana Fine. Can
Okay.
you say that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can say it too.
yeah.
So, anyway, now we've covered that. Moving
Stam.
on.
Stam. Are you from Phuket?
No. I'm originally from Nakhon Si Thammarat.
You're just
It's
using
a-
long words.
Yeah.
Just realised. Go
I
on.
know. Do you know Nakhon Si Thammarat?
What,
It's next to
NST?
Krabi.
I've heard of it. I wouldn't be able to put it on the map if you said put it on the map.
Can you put Samui on the
It's
map?
next to Krabi,
I can
basically.
put Samui on the map.
So it's just before Samui.
Okay. I can put Krabi on the map. That's that's Cat Jones beeping at me.
She can jog on.
When did you get to Phuket?
I think now it's like 9-10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why did you come here?
Why did I come here?
Yeah. Not to bake, obviously, because you came here because I tapped you up to come onto our beautiful podcast. But why
I
did you...
literally just know Bake like last year.
Oh, really?
Yes.
From far out.
I just come like, yeah, it's not.
Hold on. You've been living here in Phuket for 9 years, and you only heard about Bake a year
No,
ago.
I come here, but I don't really come here often, so.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Em and I met at the opening of this place.
I know, I remember.
Yeah.
I
Do you
remember.
want to tell us that story?
So, no, I remember it as well.
But anyway, what is the question?
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, just come here.
Why did you come to Phuket? Not to bake. It was it was a joke about 5 minutes ago. It's okay. Carry on.
Actually, my dad is already in Phuket, like 2 years before me, and he was working in Central.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, as the security in Central.
Oh, no
That was
way.
like 11 years ago or something.
Oops.
And he just, when I finished high school, and my dad just said to me, Stam, why don't you come to Phuket? There's a lot of job available here. So I'm like, okay, why not? I pack my bag, take the bus, without like knowing what I'm gonna do. So I'm just gonna turn up and let's see what happens.
So all the way through from you were born in Nakhon Si,
Yeah.
grew up,
So-
went to school the whole time
Yes.
in Nakhon Si Thammarat, never went anywhere else. No, not to live anywhere
Yeah,
else.
not to live
Yeah.
anywhere, exactly. And then I just come on the way to Phuket, and yeah, since then and now it's just 9 years, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at the time, just prior to sort of leaving Nakhon, what was in your mind prior to your dad saying, "Hey, why don't you come to Phuket?" What were you thinking? Did you have any idea what you wanted to do, where you wanted to go?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Literally nothing. And that time is like, I think I was 18, just finished high school. And
Can I just stop you there?
Yeah.
I was working at the age then.
Yeah, that's what I'm helping you.
Is that where you stopped? I haven't
Yes.
got my abacus. See, I was just about to use my fingers to count. So I was going 18 plus 9, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. We could just fast
We
forward.
could- yeah, we could.
Where was I? 25, 26,
Yes.
27. So you're 28 now.
Yes. 1991.
Yeah.
91, 92. Should I just do that?
Well,
You,
91
sorry,
was
you were
the
born in 91.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Do I look
91 was the year that
30?
I finished technically high school, I guess is what we call it. Which was
91
normal
was
school.
when Australia beat England in the Rugby World Cup final.
What else happened in 91? We talked about
Berlin Wall.
Yeah, but I actually think that might come down in 1990 now, not 91. I was listening back
Yeah.
to that. I think it was 1990.
Yes.
So what else happened in 91?
Pass.
Iraq War?
Was it right? 90?
Or was that 1990?
I think that was 1990.
Stan, you remember all this? This was the year
No.
you were... Oh my God.
Yeah, you came into the world at an interesting time.
I was 15, 16.
Yeah, quite.
I don't know
Still a
that.
virgin at that time. Me. I was a good boy. That was just useless.
yeah.
Anyway, enough about us at 91. 91. Great
Yeah.
year.
Well, actually, I'm 27. We don't count 2020.
Yeah,
So
yeah. We're bypassing
we
this year.
bypass.
Yeah, no,
so
absolutely.
I'm like
Yes.
basically 27
That's cool. I'm 37, so we're okay.
again.
No, I
I
was.
love Stan. I love Stan because she knows you and
Yeah.
she'll rip you. She won't let you get away with this.
No, I've always thought I was 36, and I've decided that as of this year, because we've all aged a shit ton this year, that I'm going to add a year.
Really?
Yes.
I think I've unaged. I'm like Benson Button, whatever his name
Benjamin.
is. Him too.
Yeah.
I'm his brother. Should we get back to Stam?
We could do.
91. Sorry, you have that a coffee. When you say you left high school, so you left high school at 18.
Yes.
Did you have
I think
any
so.
aspirations that during school, what you wanted to do? Was there anything you were doing? Is there any jobs you did during that time that you thought, oh, that's kind of what I want to do?
Literally zero, because it's like that time I was so you just finished high school, and it's some reason I didn't get a chance to go to university by that time. So I think it's like some kind of, but because we got 3 kids, and my mom and dad got 3 kids, so the 2 of their kids is like my older brother and my older sister, they're still in university at that time, so they can't afford to send me to the university as well, right? So I say, okay, that's fine. I just jumped into the bus to Phuket, and then I started working in Central.
That's where your dad was.
Basically, I'm just like looking for a job. Like, I have no idea what I'm gonna do, So
So what was the job you were doing in Central?
It's in Central Food Hall.
Yep.
As a cashier.
Okay.
That is my
That was
first
you.
job in my life.
In Central Festival, so
In Central Food
Oh,
Hall.
that's your first. You didn't have any part-time jobs growing up or anything like that.
No, and that is like my full time, and then I think I get paid like 6,000 baht
some.
per month
So
that
now-
time.
now how-
6,000 baht a month.
Yes, that
Well,
is like 9 years ago.
I was going to say, well,
Wow.
9, 10 years ago. So I'm just trying to think. So Central Festival, the food in
No,
the original.
no, before it's a top
Yeah.
supermarket.
Yeah. The original sort of food
Yeah,
court
it's
there.
it's not Central Food Hall.
Yeah, so I wonder how many times our paths probably actually crossed. I used to go there quite a lot. Because when I first lived in Phuket, I was living in Katu. And I was in Central, I say every day, but
Hanging
most-
out with your hoodie on.
hanging out with my hoodies. I've got my hoodie today because it's cold in here, but we'll come back to that. But yeah,
Okay.
but it's just one of those sort of quirky things. Our paths probably did cross quite a lot. But
Thanks.
there you go, I just thought I'd bring that up. So
I
how
don't-
did you find Central Food Hall?
At that time,
Yeah.
I get a lot of free food, so that's good.
The perks of the job.
Yeah.
Were you? Your English is really good. So
Thank you.
were you speaking
Better than
English?
Jay's.
Yeah, absolutely. Were you speaking English back then as well? Is it this something that's grown over the last 9 years?
So back then, the only words I can say.
Not on the podcast.
I can't believe I was about to make that. No,
Yeah.
no.
It's just like, hi, how you doing?
Like our Thai, basically.
Much like weaker than your Thai, for sure.
I've always said that Russell's got very good Thai. I think your Thai is actually really good.
I only heard you say chai.
Chai.
Yeah.
You see him when he gets angry. He's good at shouting at people. He can shout good words.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Back
So
to Stam.
This is going
Sorry,
to happen a
guys.
lot throughout the podcast, by the way.
I'm trying to find a way between the gap to
yeah,
talk.
just jump in. Yeah,
I've calmed down a lot on my interruptions, I felt.
I think you have.
Thank you. Carry on.
So my English.
I think I
background
really
is-
have stopped
Jerry.
jumping in on people. Have I not? I'm letting people finish. Carry on, Stan.
Can I?
Yeah.
Good luck with this.
So yeah, so basically, hi, hello, how are you doing? Good, thank you. And you? That's it. That's the only word.
When you first came here.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
what was so how long were you at Central for?
6 months.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah.
It's not.
So you really enjoyed it, yeah?
Yeah, it's not that long at all because I'm quite young and I feel like and when I was young I loved doing a lot of artworks and like either like painting and all those things. Then I always like have that so many questions in my life when I come back home. I said, this is what I want to do. Is this really? I'm only 18 and then I'm like working like like 10 hours I think that time and just get like really small salary. So I'm just like put up with it for 6 months and then after that I moved to work to the property agent and then back then it's like my English started to getting a little bit better and better and better.
What were you doing with the property?
Just like a sale.
Okay.
Yeah, just like a sale thing. And then I think I got like so many jobs. And then after that, I work in restaurant as well, in ninth floor.
Which one? Oh, ninth floor. Yeah,
ninth floor.
of course. Yeah,
You worked in ninth floor.
Yes.
You were one of the heavenly angels, as the terrible name they call them.
Yeah.
I've got issues. I'm having a lot of issues at the
I
moment
don't
with
even know
sexism.
is that the name of it.
Yeah.
Because I tell you why, and we are going completely off the subject. I'm having a bit of a dilemma at the moment with feminism, sexism, and ladies, and more to the point, ladies' nights. And I'm really angry about. Russell and I have had this conversation a lot. I'm really angry about ladies' nights and how I'm seeing. And I don't know why, but in the last couple of weeks or so, maybe month or so, I guess because of COVID, there's been a lot more
They've all popped up.
bars
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
restaurants advertising ladies' nights. Ladies get free
Yeah.
drinks. And I'm having a social dilemma with myself about how much I hate it, but how much I should say, do you know what, just get over it and just let it go, rather than making a big deal out of it. I'm
Yeah.
in the middle of it all. Anyway, back to your heavenly, and that's why I kind of have heard of the heavenly angels. And I went there once. It was a nice dinner.
I've never been to ninth floor.
It's actually
It's a weird place, though, isn't it?
It's
Yep.
in a weird place.
It's in a very weird place.
yes, like when you go up, when you like from outside, it look like it's nothing going on there.
Yeah. It
But
looks
then when you get up,
You've travelled quite a lot, but it looks like a council estate in London.
Mm.
So you go to the
Yes.
back of it, and then you get in
That's
this
right.
dodgy elevator, which I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen, it stinks of piss. And you just worry if I'm going to press one button, it's just going to stop. Lights start flashing, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden I'm attacked by a clown.
yeah. It's actually when you go up there, it's really nice.
Yeah.
The
Especially
view's
at
lovely.
night, the view is amazing. And then after that, I met Liam.
We heard about that in his podcast. He said that he was really handsome, and you were gagging for him, and you were clawing at him, trying to grab him, and he was like, "Get off me,
Yeah,
get
he
off
was
me!"
batting all the women away.
Yeah.
Did he say that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God.
He had
Yeah.
so many chicks. That's what he called it. So many chicks were throwing themselves at me. I picked this one. She was all right, and kind of ended up with her.
Yeah.
I'm like, Liam, that's a bit harsh. Stam's lovely. He went, nah, she's all right. I had a pick of everyone.
So now that we've got you on, tell us the truth.
No, he did tell us a story though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I kind of listened a little bit of his
You got bored
postcard,
of his,
but
did
Yeah.
yeah. So
You can be honest.
So,
It's
so
okay.
where did you guys, from your side of things, or for
Yeah.
people that maybe miss Liam's podcast, where did you guys meet?
in through one of the photographer, he's called Pete Atkinson. That he's underwater photographer. So he's the kind of like makeup. Is that what you call the word? Like set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, for us to meet, and then after that we meet. We meet.
So
and
how did he know you?
Pete?
Yeah.
Oh, he know me like long time.
Pete is a lovely guy, by
Yeah.
the way, an amazing photographer. And he also knows some really, really hot chicks. He does. I have
No,
to be
because
honest.
he's photographer, right? So he used to before when I become a photographer, he used to ask me to be his model, so he can like photograph the portrait of me
Okay.
quite a few times. So that's how I get to know him.
Gotcha.
And,
Okay.
yeah. So we get really close, and he also like know Liam. So I'm single back then, and Liam also single, and then we kind of like set up.
Put you together. So
Yeah.
on that first moment, so it was like a blind date.
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So hey Stam, I've got this. I know this guy. I think you should go out for dinner with him.
Yeah, it's just like go to hang out, just a friend, you know,
Okay.
go for lunch and and then after that, you know.
So what was your first impression? Liam, turn away now. Liam, go and do something else. Tune out. Come on, Stam. What was your first impression?
I said, it's quite hot.
Now, for those of you not watching the video podcast, you should see what she actually mouthed. She didn't actually say that. No, bless her. He is a handsome. I have to say, he is a very. You've done very well. He's a handsome.
No,
young
but
man.
it's the thing
could've
is,
done a lot worse.
I was super like interesting about his life. You know, like he's quite amazing photographers, and then after that, it's about like couple weeks that we hang out, and then I quit night for. I just said to Liam, like, I want to be a photographer. Can you, you know, train me? And I also like love the photographies before, like all the times, but I never like kind of do it as a job. Just a little hobby. And then I'm just like go with him everywhere, every weddings, and just watch.
And
what
that
he
brings
doing.
us up to when we first met, because I first saw
yeah.
you
Yes.
at a wedding. I believe it was in Kamala, and I believe it was the one maybe Ban Santi
Ban
Suk.
Santi Suk, yeah.
That was one of the. I don't know if that was which
I
one.
haven't
of those
been there
was.
for so
I
long.
haven't either. But that was the first time I saw it, and I'd known Liam maybe a couple of times before
Yeah.
that. And I said, "Oh, hello, who's your new staff member?" He's like, "Yeah, she's my hot chick girlfriend." And then he said the story again. He goes, "Yeah, I had loads to choose from, and this one." I'm joking. And then he was saying, "Oh yeah, you've come on board," and I was like watching you guys work together, and you seem to kind of you grabbed that passion, that photography passion. And from my point of view, I was watching you, of course. And did that come across wrong?
Yes.
Yeah, didn't mean like that. But as a DJ at a wedding, you kind of sometimes, especially during cocktails and dinner, you can be a little bit bored, and so you're kind of watching what other people are doing. But I was watching you guys, but
Some more than
you were working quite hard, and you was really getting into it. So you kind of grabbed that
Yes.
passion of photography there
It's
and then.
actually, I have to say that being, especially the wedding photographer, is super, super hard.
Proper intense, right?
It's super intense. And every time I remember, like every wedding, when we finish, we go to say goodbye to the bride and groom during the party. And
Can I just say, you go before the DJ finishes? I just want to point that out. Anyway,
To be
carry
fair,
on.
most people do.
Yeah.
I make sure that you come up, and then after 5 minutes, I leave.
She's good. Anyway, that was the podcast. Thanks very much for being on.
Sorry.
But you must get that, joking aside, you guys are there early doors, aren't you? There from the very start of the wedding.
Yes. Now is almost tricky, like almost impossible now.
Yeah.
Especially during these situations.
So did you enjoy doing the wedding photography? From a learning curve, that must have been a very steep learning curve, because it's an
Yeah.
intense role. It's not like you
Yes.
just photograph.
That is also, I have to say, like being a wedding photographer is changed so much, like in my life, because I think it's nearly 8 years now, 7.5 years, and the first 3 years is the most like tricky years for me, because I'm trying to learn English, and you have to turn up and be professional.
Yeah.
You have to like act like you know what you're doing, even you don't, because
Yeah.
you're still
Yeah, you gotta walk the walk,
learning.
right?
And I also like get so much scared. I'm worried like, oh, I'm gonna turn up and they don't take me seriously, or they don't like understand my Thai English
Yeah.
and things like that, right? So, and that's it. I think I learned so much about being a photographer, but the things that I learned more is to be able to, fit in with that environment. That's part of
Yeah.
growing up,
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, I mean, kudos to you, because you basically took you jumped off and said, right, I want to learn to be a photographer. So and also kudos to Liam for saying, yeah, not only will I take you under my wing, but I'm going to bring you into the business, and you will come to weddings with me, and you can see live on the go. So
Yeah.
you were in the deep end from the get go. And to be fair, a lot of people would have drowned at that point, because that's
Yes.
like, I'm not fluent in English. That's a
Yeah.
biggie. Weddings are intense because it's such an important moment for those people.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
every single
It's so much pressure.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So so with all of that, without sort of floating the boat too much.
I have like absolutely meltdown so many times.
I'll bet.
Yes, I used to, I think it's the first year during the ceremony, I used to say to Liam, like, I leave the camera, I'm like, that's it, I'm done, I'm quick. And then I'm like, go to sit in a car, and I was like crying, I was like, fuck, I can't do this, And then after 30 minutes, I come back and grab the camera and start shooting again.
and how was Liam with all of that? Because obviously for him, this is his business, so he's obviously, I don't have time to deal with you crying in the car. I've got to do stuff, and that's fair enough.
He just like get on with his life, his works, right? But then he also like such a great support, because after the wedding, we talk a lot about what is going on, and then he give me so much support.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, Russell must understand as well, and Stam and I have all worked in the wedding, on the wedding day.
Yeah.
And that is a very stressful situation for
Not really.
people.
It's not quite easy for me. Well, to be fair.
No, but hold on. If you mess up the words, that's it, you're shot. If you mess up the pictures, it's shot. If I mess up the music, you're shot. It's the one day
it's got to be on.
It's got to be on. And so I've always, I'm driving. So for example, as a DJ, I'll get the music that they want. I'll listen to it. I'll listen to it again to make sure it's right. On the way to the gig, I'll be listening to it again to make sure that there's no jumps. I've made a couple of mistakes, and you shit yourself. And it is even the walking down the aisle music for me. I'm just like I'm shaking, and I still shake now. Not I've done a wedding for a long time, but I'll still shake, making sure I get it right, waiting for that cue to go, making sure it comes down at the right time. It is and for you, from a photography point of view, it's even more, because if you forget that SD card, if you don't press it, if the expose, whatever it is, it's like you can't go back.
Or you miss the moment. Like when you, whatever that going on during the wedding, the bride and grooms or the, all the guests, they can spot in that moment, and then after that, they're gonna forget about this. But the picture will something like they keep looking.
True.
It will be with them forever.
Yeah, see, I can mess up a song or something, and they go, oh yeah, he mucks that mix up, and they will forget.
They probably get drunk by that time.
All right,
They won't remember anyway.
That's just not my DJ skills.
You're right. Like even like from a celebrant perspective, I can mess up a couple of words. As long as I don't mess up the names, which I did on my first ever wedding. But that's another story entirely. But yeah, generally speaking, you can sort of be a bit more fluid with it. But you're right. The picture's the bit that lasts, and if it's obviously you speak with clients beforehand. They know the style, and they know what they want.
Yeah.
And do you find with clients there are specific photos or specific things that they want out of it, or is it more of a general feel that they want from their wedding package?
No, I think that whatever the client that come to us, at least they already like what we do.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. So that's why the reason that they come
style.
to us. Yeah, the style.
Cool.
So, but there is quite a few things at the weddings that where they say, oh, I want a family photo. I want the Pacific photo, and we do it like the group photo. All the things, we have so much time to do the creative stuff. So we just take like 5-10 minutes doing what they ask. We always do it. We get so much flexible now.
Yeah.
But when like the first couple years we start, we also not that good back then, and then we try to be very strict. No, it's got to be like this.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, whatever. If we miss sunset, we miss sunset. We can find different shots later.
Sure.
So it's so much. I think the more you do it, you get more flexible.
Yeah,
and whatever
and
the
work out
client,
what kind of works.
But it's interesting. How much flexibility do you have with your speeches for a celebrancy?
Loads. So
do they always say, "Can you please put your Facebook joke in, Russell, because it's hilarious"? Sorry, I'm sorry. I see you're looking at me like you're going to kill me. Anyway, carry on.
But it works every time.
It does work every time.
I think you're really good at it.
And the funny part now is
don't say that to him.
No, the funny part
It's
was
true.
Well, not done any weddings, but it was getting to the point where, because it was invariably you would be DJing or Ben would, and you guys would be there doing photos.
Yeah.
So we worked a lot at the same gigs. So I'm getting bored of the same sort of spiel.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of different things on the fly. And I just knew when I dropped in certain things, I could feel you all looking at me like, oh, for fuck's sake, not again. It's like, well, they have never heard it.
But also, I always say to Liam, a lot of the time, I say you are, very good compared to, because a lot of celebrants, they can be very serious, right? And you don't have to.
Very rigid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you're right. I think you're a great celebrant, Russell.
So you don't let anyone will be celebrant at our wedding.
No, not a chance.
He invite himself.
Is this the second? Okay, so we should say you recently got engaged. Congratulations,
Thank you.
by the way. I'm very much looking forward to coming to some part of the wedding. I'm not sure which bit I'll be invited to. It might just be the welcome drinks. Jay welcome drinks, and you can go. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
You get the invitation. Oh, when is it? Last week.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. No.
But you're the second person. And who was it that you invited?
Kat.
Okay, so a couple of weeks ago we interviewed a lady who's also getting married, and he invited himself to be the celebrant as well.
Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. You see,
fair enough.
I missed out on that one. Yeah.
Weddings haven't just taken you to... see the way I've moved on. Weddings haven't just taken you to around Thailand. You've also gone to Greece, to America, to the UK. So how was that experience? Because you've obviously travelled loads.
I know that we are so lucky, you know, because we are so lucky that we work in Phuket, and most of our clients they not live in Phuket, so they live in Hong Kong, they live in UK, US, Australia. So when they go back to their country, and their friends in that country, they see a picture, and they say, "Oh, by the way, we get married in Greece." So then, you know, because we base ourselves in London half of the year as well, so they can we just book like from this month to this month, we're gonna be based in Europe. So that's how easier for us to get work in Italy and Greece. But if we live in Phuket for years, it will be a lot harder. Yeah.
Well, it's a very specific wedding season. If we forget this year, but there is a specific wedding season. Where's your favourite place so far that you've been to one, to photograph a wedding, and two, just your favourite place that you've been to?
I would say Greeks. Yeah.
I love Greece.
Greece is like, I can see myself living in Greece.
It's a beautiful. Whereabouts in Greece? Can you know exactly where?
I think I've been to like 30 different islands in Greece, because you know they have the best thing about Greeks is like you just have your bag, and then you do the island hopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even like a tiny little small island, it's like 30 local live in there, like 30 people. We also been there. So, but the thing is, my favorite island in Greece would be
Lesbos. Sorry, I had to say the joke.
What's that?
Lesbos.
Can you translate that for me, please?
No.
I'm going to gloss over. I'll explain the joke. It's a play on the word for lesbians. I'm calling it. The island's called Lesbos, but it's funny because it almost sounds like lesbian, but it's not lesbian. So you think there's going to be lots of sexy girls there. However, when you actually look at lesbians, generally they aren't that sexy because they're not like the movies. End of the joke. Carry on. I didn't explain it very well, did it?
Carry on.
I will double check with you later.
No, I worked in Greece. Joking aside,
Did you see my face?
Yes.
I look at him like.
Yeah.
Blink.
Yeah, it happens. No, I love Greece. I worked in Greece for about 3 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you lived there?
I lived there for the summer season. So I would do a summer season in Greece, then go away for the winter, then come back and do a summer season. I was teaching sailing there.
Right.
Beautiful place. Love
Greece
it.
is amazing. I think my favorite island is Serifos. Like all like Santorini, Serifos. I'm not a fan of Mykonos, but I know it's a stunning place with the buildings and all those things, but it's just too touristy. Santorini also very touristy, but if you hide a car.
I do love your pictures of Santorini though.
In Santorini,
yeah,
thank you.
It's amazing.
Because you know what we do in Santorini, we hide a car, and basically we look at the Google map, and if you can see like the little road that lead to some little church. They always have a church in Greece. So we just put the pin drop there, and then we just follow the Google map. And it's normally bring us somewhere like no one never been there.
How times have changed.
Yeah,
put a pin in the Google map and you followed your phone. Back when I was in Greece, we didn't have no Google Maps. We just had a map.
Yeah.
Or you didn't even have a map.
What did you do?
just drove.
A to Z.
Santorini is amazing for hiking. Like they have a lot of the trail, for hiking.
Do you know what I love about Greece? Is I just love the colours, the blue, the greens,
Yes.
and the whites.
Yes.
It's just
Don't be
those.
racist.
I'm very racist. I just love those colours.
Yes.
The white and the blue, the white buildings off the
The
blue
white and
sea,
blue,
and then the
yes.
greenness of the olive plantation. I mean,
Yes.
and Greek olive oil is still the best olive oil in the world. I don't care what anyone
and
says.
the tomato.
Oh yeah, actually, to be fair.
And
Yeah.
feta.
Oh,
and feta.
just Greek food in general.
I know
He'll
you
love
hate-
this. Just simple grilled seafood
cheese.
with just lemon juice
Yes.
and olive oil. That's all
That's
you have.
it. Yes. Yeah.
Just perfect.
You know, the best things about Greek is like when you're landing, you get into the airport, you're landing, and then you get off your airplane, and you smell of Greek. Like straight away, you smell of Greeks. And you heard in the airport, they like to play the Greek music,
Yeah.
like basuki, right, with the little guitar.
Yeah.
And that is like, oh my God, I feel like, it made me feel like summer. This is like summer.
It does.
place.
Yeah, no, you're right. You think Greece, you think
You
summer.
feel like you just feel like you're on holiday straight off the.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
So
a fabulous
Greece
country.
is absolutely my favorite. So I would love to save money and buy a little house in Greece. So I live there when I retire.
Yeah.
Long way away.
Well, okay. Well, taking that sort of as a small theme, leading up to that. So, in terms of, because obviously, well, this year business has been crap for obviously.
We
everyone.
don't count this year.
Yeah, exactly. But leading up until this year, your business model
Yes.
has changed a little bit. Is that correct?
Quite a lot.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so you've gone from being strict, wedding photography,
Yes.
mostly here and around the world. But what have you sort of morphed or moved into now?
Now I actually just launched my brand new business. It's the fine art dog photography.
Only dogs.
Well, pets.
Just checking on this one. I don't want just to be racist, just dogs.
No, actually, I can, but because it's a reason I have so much dogs portfolio in my portfolio, because I know quite a lot of dogs owners, and I'm dog owner myself, and that's why you see
you're not.
more.
You're a French
you will
bulldog
see more
owner.
because we don't. Maybe I'm not trying to make friend with the cat owner.
Yeah,
I'm not
and
sure.
And why would you? Right?
Honestly, let's not make it a hated a cat podcast. Going
but-
back, so
yeah.
so you're about to, or you have just launched recently.
Yes,
your
actually,
new fine
2 days
art
ago. Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I called her up. Fine art pet photography. Okay,
Yes.
so that's what you're going to be doing. So it's
Yes.
kind of stylish art of your pet or the person or together, whatever. Where did this? Obviously, you've been taking pictures of your own dogs. So you've got two lovely little French bulldogs, Bob and Billy, or Billy and Bob, depending on which way round they're coming at you. What did you sit down and go, do you know what? I'm really going to push
This is
pet
what I'm gonna
photography.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I've been photograph Bob since he's
Since he
like
arrived.
like 2 months old. And Bob is so good at this now. Also, when you point the camera, he just know what to do.
Is that because, Stam, you took him to Canine Point Academy and got him trained by a very good dog trainer who's
Yes.
actually officiated from the American Kennel Club of America Kennel People? Yeah?
Yeah, close enough.
Thanks.
Something.
Something. Yeah.
trying to
me.
I was bigging you up.
Yes. Yeah.
Bigging you up.
That's true. Yeah, I did train Bob.
You've
of
got a
course.
beach club now.
I forgot to mention about my beach club. We'll talk about
Okay.
that later.
So yeah, during lockdown, but it actually, this idea I want to do it for so long, but because we've been so busy with the auto business, the wedding business stuff, so I don't really have time to do this. And this happens, I think, in February, when the Phuket start to lock down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the only thing I do is I just practice photograph my dogs at home. So I do a lot of that, and that idea start coming up. So and then I also start printing the photo of Bob and Billy, and then I feel like when the picture it become to printing, and when you frame it, you put in the wall, and something you wake up, you see every single day. It makes me feel so happy, and that's why I start to have this idea that this is something that I wanted to do.
I think it's a great idea because I saw the picture you put up of Renata, or as I
Yes,
call her,
yes.
Renta Rocks,
Rena Rocks.
who is a alumni on the podcast.
Yes, I
So
heard that.
you took her picture. Was that just for fun, or was this part of the build-up to launching this business?
Yes, because because this is a new business for me, and only portfolio I have is just a wedding and the human portrait.
Yeah.
So I need a couple of dogs, and I also do with Sassy as well, with Russell
and Coco and Heidi as
Captains.
well.
Yeah, then Coco and Heidi. So
Hold
that
on, I'm
is-
just going to check my phone. Oh, there it is. Miss k.Stam, can you have your picture?
But you don't have a dog.
No, it got taken away from me. Thank you very much for bringing that up.
I don't want to bring it up again.
I've got
Mac.
fish. Yeah.
And a hamster.
I've got a hamster now called Rosie.
What is that?
It's a hamster.
Do you?
Yeah. Honestly, that was perfect.
Oh, that was mental.
That was just.
What is it? Is this a joke?
No.
Yeah, no, just your response was perfect.
Do I have the hamster story? Okay,
It
so.
was a whole.
So-
really?
Yeah, oh, really? Really couldn't give a shit about your hamster.
Yeah.
Zahara got given a hamster for her birthday by one of her friends. So I now have the
Okay.
hamster at my house to look after it while she's not living there, which is great. So Rosie's my hamster. So would you take a picture of me and Rosie?
Rosie?
Rosie's a hamster. Don't keep looking. What?
No, this is not a joke. He genuinely has a hamster.
Really?
Really, a
fish.
live one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Not
that's
on me
cool.
now, at home, in my house. I've also got...
How big is it?
Well, it's hamster size.
Like rat? Is that the same thing?
It's like a small
as
rat.
No, it's not
Well,
a
it depends
rat.
how
A
much you feed
rat's a rat. A hamster's a hamster. Although I did call it a rat for about 3 weeks. Anyway, going back to it. So you've taken
Yes.
pictures of mainly dogs. So let me ask. So if I came to you and I said, look, this is me and Maximus. Hi. He's my boxer.
Yes.
He's mentor. He's got a big, long tongue. Very trainable because he's been to K9 Point Academy and he's very well trained.
Kind of.
Ish.
He's a boxer. Well, how's the whole process work? So
Yes.
I want to have my picture taken. What would you...
Yeah, so basically, if you look at my website, I have...
Which is?
Which is stamchana.com. Like
We'll put the
just
links in
my...
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stamchana.com. And I have this like a three process step. And the first step is I come and talk to you about, because this is... I do like the printing photo that to fit into your house. So I wanted to, so the
very
whole
cool.
point of it,
Yeah.
that I'm trying to create the artwork for the pet owners. So I need to see like where you want the picture to be, or the styling in terms of like you want the picture to be low key or high key, like in terms of black background or white background, all those things. So we have a chat about this. And the second step is we do like fun studio session. So this is gonna be the fun part, right? And the third process is I start to create the prints and the frame, and then I put it on the wall on your house.
Okay, so your whole business model is not just taking a picture and say, there you go, there's
No.
some pictures you can share on Facebook or give to your nan for Christmas or whatever.
Yeah.
You're saying, right, I'm going to come to your house. Where do you want this picture to be? Right, I want it on this wall,
Yes.
above my fireplace, in prime position. And then you'll say, okay, so now you can start thinking about how you're going to style that. Does it
Yes.
fit in with the room? Does it fit
Yeah.
in with anything? That's brilliant. I think that's
Yeah.
a great idea.
Genuinely, it's genuine artwork. That's your
Yes.
result.
Basically, I create the artwork
Yeah.
Wow.
for the pet owner. So, but how I do it is through the photography.
Yeah.
So I set up the studio lighting. You put your dog. We're gonna have
Yeah.
a lot of fun taking photo, and then you choose a photo, and then I put on the frame to put on your
So
house.
all your shots will be taken within the studio just so you can control the environment. a bit better.
Basically, I'm trying to keep it because this is how the style that I
Yeah.
kind of prefer, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of good at basically because I kind of know how to do exactly to get it the photo to look like that. And it's the reason I like that kind of styles because I just want to focus on the when you have that picture up on the wall, your eye just focus on your dog
Correct, yeah.
without have that
Without the
environment
background noise and stuff.
distracting.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's just the way that I create.
So
Yeah.
you've mentioned, we have mentioned dogs a lot, and obviously there is a dog passion there, but you will do other pets.
Yes, I do. Yeah,
I'm
if you
just-
have
Dogs,
cats
yeah.
or
Fish.
Fish.
Very difficult.
Hamsters.
It's very difficult to do with a fish.
Yeah,
isn't it?
fish. Yeah.
I'm not sure you can take Ghosty into your studio. Ghosty's my ghost night fish.
We'll come back to that. What about
We've got a lot to come back to.
Yeah. What about if for clients? I mean, I appreciate you holding the entire package, but what if someone says, look, I want, number one, I want the second part, I want you to take the photos, but don't worry about printing it. I just email me the file, or will you do that, or is it a case of?
In that case, I don't do it. It's I have the reason for that is because I use to take the picture in this quality that I give it to you. It's gonna look good if you use the kind of the fine art, the printing papers, and it's a reason for that. If I give you the online files, and then if you print it yourself, the quality is not gonna look as good. So that I also have that. A couple of people ask me for that, and I say to them like, look, this is what I do.
Yeah.
This is how I create the artwork for you. If you want the best quality, I can do it for you. But if you just want the picture of your dog, I also know, quite a few of photographers in the island. They can do it that really well.
Okay.
And this is something like you want to invest it on amazing piece of art that you can.
So you're keeping it very niche.
Yes.
In terms of it's just this. If you want pictures, I can palm you off to someone else with an iPhone.
Yeah.
If you want a genuine piece of art.
Which is quite a few people that in the island do it really well, and I can
Myself
recommend
included.
it. Yeah. and also.
She's great.
We'll just gloss over that.
Yeah. Although you pictures are quite good.
I'm trying to think. It's like which one is real, which one is jokes.
That's usually an easy split.
Yeah. Russell does love. I do think you take some nice pictures. Some of your doggy pictures are very good.
It's getting better.
Is
to
it?
be fair, I mean, these guys give me tips every now and again. So, and we used to joke. It's like whenever I would send, because I would send clients updates of their dogs and what have you. And whenever Bob and Billy are with me, I take pictures and I've got to send it to Stam and Liam. It's like now I'm really like I'm checking the edges. Now I'm just checking the colours. I'm like trying to. Yeah.
But sometimes it's like you think too much about this.
100. No, I know I do.
I just want to see
your dog.
Bob face.
100%.
Basically, I don't care about lighting or this is perfect.
No,
or
you're right,
whatever.
and that's coming from photographers that notice these details.
Yeah.
But you don't care. So I just want to see my dog and that they're having fun.
I just want to see his face.
Yeah. And it's the same from clients' perspective.
Yeah.
And they haven't.
Yeah.
They're like me. They're like him. We haven't really got a clue about photography. Just
Whoa. I've got a big clue. I have a camera and I put it on auto and I press the button. And it does take some amazing shots.
Yeah.
Better than iPhone.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
No, it
probably. Yeah.
My
But I
big
think
camera's pretty good.
your photo is getting so much better.
So, but it's to be fair, I've got an iPhone and it.
Is that since you changed your phone?
Yeah, 'cause that's 11, I think. And I mean the cameras are pretty fucking mental.
See, I've got my big camera that I take out when I go and do various different stuff with clients. But in all fairness, for me, my pictures are not as a photographer pictures. I'm a content creator for social media, so a lot of it is just snapping away, and then it's I would take 100 pictures and I'd probably get 5 really good. I'm like, oh, that come across really well. How did that work? For me, I don't really, although I'm starting to now, because I've now got my drone, I'm starting to try to learn a little bit more about exposure and light, because it makes a huge difference. And on a perfect day, you get this beautiful picture.
Yeah,
but then it's how to do it without the perfect day. And that's where I need to, but I'm not that fussed. I just like flying the drone. I just want to get some guns on it and shoot stuff. That'd be cool.
Well, you have to take a bad photo to get a good photo. So.
Sure. Well, you have to do bad podcasts to get a good podcast.
Exactly.
We're on 54 now.
I was going to say, so there's hope for us yet. No, we're on episode 2.
Well, yeah, episode 2, season 2, episode. I don't know what it is anyway. It's with Stan, the photographer. What's the plans for the business? Obviously, you've only just started out. Is it?
Yes, I just launched this 2 days ago. So now I'm actually like really proud of it, because this is the first things that is got my things on it, and I wanted to do for so long, and it's thank you for the COVID basically that this is also part of make this happen. Otherwise, I probably been it even longer. to even do this.
Will you sign the photos when you give them out, or is it just a plain picture, or will you have something to mark, say this is Stam's
I
picture?
do it in the online version.
Right, okay.
I also give them I give them the frame, the print art, but you also can have the online version for you to share on social media as well.
And it'll have your watermark signature.
Just a little one, yeah.
Just a massive picture of you in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, big thumbs
So
up.
make sure that I took that photo.
Yeah.
With a big sign that says like and share.
Yeah.
And then the bell sign, subscribe. Anyway. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So this is really exciting for you.
Yes.
So where's your studio?
At the moment, I do the home studio. So I got like a what you call like
Yep.
pop-up studio. So I bring it to the client's house.
Oh, that's great.
Because is the reason for that is also, I think it's great because it helps the dog or
Yeah.
the other pet, they feel more comfortable in their own environment, in their own house.
Yeah.
So I'm just go in
I
and
was just thinking for our pictures that you and Stam and I are going to do with Rosie the hamster, we probably need to go somewhere not my house. Although you need to see where the picture's going to be, don't you?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I
My
love
house
the
is a
name though.
mess.
Yeah.
Rosie's. It's a great name.
Thank you.
Steve would have been better.
I did suggest Steve. However, we've had many other animals called Steve.
Right. Okay.
So we can't have Steve. In fact, both my cars have been called Steve. It's a great name.
Yeah.
Would you do, because working with animals, oh, you've got odd socks on, Russell.
I do.
Working with animals is as tricky as working with kids. So how obviously you've only just started the business, but luckily you've got a friend who's a dog trainer.
Yeah, I
So
get so much
have you
help.
grabbed tips from Russell about how to manipulise the dog to get that dog to pose?
Blue tack and staples.
To pose. I don't know how to get the dog to pose, but it's one thing that I learned so much from Russell is the placement.
Yeah.
That is like one of the best things because it's like when I do the studio setup, I have like a little table, and I just put the dog there, and then start to help them to get more. Like I start flashing the camera, the light, so it's make sure like they not get
Make
scared
sure they're
of that.
not in bad. What's the word when they have epileptic fits?
Like
Absolutely.
Thank you.
But they can get like like nervous because a lot of animal they don't
Yeah.
do that before,
Sorry, you
right?
put a dog on a table. I'd love to see you do that with Fiji. Who's
Fiji?
a Burmese
Yeah.
mountain
Oh
dog.
my gosh.
Fiji, who's bigger than you.
Yeah.
I know. I met
Bless.
him before.
Yeah.
He's a great dog. I would love to photograph him. It's really cool.
He's a goofball.
I like
Yeah.
Fiji.
I like Fiji too. I love Fiji, in fact.
You look like a mini bear.
Yeah, but it is quite. I mean, again, from a dog perspective,
Yeah.
though, in terms of, and you're right, going to people's houses is probably the better way to go because there is going to be equipment that the dog's not seeing. They might not have seen a camera flashed in
Yes.
their face. They're not going to have seen the backgrounds all set up, but at least they know their home environment.
Yeah.
So, and chances are, for most people, even if the dog's not trained or what have you, you'll probably find if you had a few treats or the owner's got
Yes.
some treats. Most owners have done, good boy, sit, and that's really all you kind of need.
Yes.
And so just to get the dog
Yeah.
in a fixed position for a short amount
Yes.
of time, depending on what the shot's going to be. I mean, we were trying to get both
Yeah.
Sassy and Bob to sort of shake and have the water go
Yeah,
everywhere, which is
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
So depending on what you want, but having the stool or a low table, even if not a table like a coffee table, just like a low table.
It's like a little, like a little stool.
So even the dogs might be able to jump on and off it, but it's just having that barrier can just help sometimes keep them in the right place at the right time for
Yeah.
a shorter period.
Luckily, I
Yeah,
think
and
we've-
that is
oh.
like what I do in my photo shoots, that I work together with the owner because the owners know their pet more than me.
Some of
so
them.
I'm trying to like make sure that we work together basically, and then when I do the photo, as you can see before, I don't do for like long hours. I just like put them there and make sure like they feel comfortable, and then I do like a couple snap and then let them off and then bring them back again. I just keep doing that.
Well, I think the great thing is you are a dog owner, a two-dog
Yes.
owner, and also you are great friends with Russell, so you have spent a lot of time, and as I have, picking his brain sometimes, you ask him questions all the time, because Russell is very giving person when it comes to if you're friends with him about ideas of, especially if you are a dog owner. You should do a podcast, Russell, with all these tips.
That's a
maybe.
really good idea, Jay.
We could call it.
Yeah.
Bartcast?
It's a great idea.
That's a
Maybe
great idea. I
Bartcast.
might think about
And
that
what people
before.
could do is they could write in questions, and then you could answer those questions.
On the podcast.
Yeah. Not a bad idea.
Why have we not thought about that before?
Don't know. Great idea.
I
Yeah,
told him about my beach
that's
club.
cool.
I love your beach club. Russell, would you like to ask your question?
But I had a couple of others.
Oh, carry on.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
actually, one in particular. So, just kind of going back to
Yes.
Liam, if you don't mind. I mean, obviously, you're the more important part of the equation. We're all aware of that.
It's Stan and Liam, not Liam and Stan.
Correct. Yeah, and everyone sort of knows that and
Yeah.
respects that. So, now when we had, obviously, we've all known both of you for a while.
Yes.
And when we had Liam on the podcast, he was telling us about his history.
Yes.
Okay. His troubles, his addictions,
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
So now, at some point, that had to come out to you. He needs to make you aware of that. So I'm just interested to know at what point that came up in your relationship, and what your initial thoughts were on that.
About Liam
Yeah.
in the past. Well, it's luckily that when I met him, he already sober.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
And he already like quit all of that, right? And then I actually like to ask him, and I like to listen about his own story
yeah.
a lot, and I think it's really interesting. And it's for me, I really enjoy listening about what he been through about his life, and because I never been to that kind of
Sure.
life before, right? So I feel like he been in so many different parts of his life. Yeah. So what is the question, madam?
I think you've answered
No,
it
no.
very
To be
nicely.
fair, you've answered it just from
Okay.
and you've answered my subliminal question in terms of, and that's the dynamic between you. Where I from an outside perspective, because a lot of it works is you're a very good listener. So, and you are engaged, and in two ways, you're very engaged with him, and you're engaged to him. But no, you're engaged in with him and his life and what have you.
Yes.
Because to be fair, and again, from not knowing you,
Yes.
from an outside perspective, and anyone listening to this podcast says, hang on a minute, this young girl from Nakhon-Si came to Phuket, didn't know very much English, decided I'm going to can in a job that I've got some sort of element of security with. I'm going to go out with this guy. I'm going to take on this new job as a wedding photographer.
Yeah.
And you've just been on sort of the up and up. And then from those that are paying attention to the podcast, in his previous life, he was having some issues.
Yeah.
So there's got to be in the back of your mind potentially that, what if that comes back or what have you. So
Yeah.
I give you immense credit for the pair of you, for the path that you've taken.
Yeah.
And you just sort of rocked on together.
Yeah, it's actually his previous life experience is affect so much life now, but in a good way.
In a very good and positive way. And I've got immense amount of time and credit for him for just...
Yeah, and
He's
I always
so focused.
love listening to him. Like, can you tell me more about
Yeah.
what's going on? What is
Yeah.
that part? I just love to listen all of that.
I think
and
that the journey that he was on before and now the journey that you've both been on are just fabulous.
Yeah.
I mean, he went through this crazy journey
Yeah.
with the demons and everything, and utmost respect to where he is now. But then the journey you two have been on to get
Yeah.
to where you are right now, he's been part of that journey for sure. He's
Yeah.
been a major part of that journey, and you learning from his experiences in the past as well, and then trying to understand where he's coming from. I think it's just, helped you out. And look where you are now.
Yeah, I
English is
know.
amazing. You
It's-
started your own business. You're an amazing photographer, a great person.
You can
and
get rid of him now.
yeah. Although I have seen the ring on her finger, and I'll tell you
I
what.
start thinking about that.
Don't get rid of him. Keep that first. Or maybe get rid of him and keep that.
No,
Right.
that's
Right then.
actually it's a really good question, and a lot of the things like in his previous life, I learned also so much from him. I feel like it's sometimes when you feel down or you feel like you don't get anywhere, and then when you look back, it's like 7 years ago. It's like, oh my God,
You've come a long way.
it's like a long way from like speak like basically basic English, and then to now, I used to like we have 4 years ago we have the wedding in New York, and I get into the taxi because I have to go to photograph the groom, and I have that so much like thought in my head, Oh my God, I'm so scared. What about I'm gonna get lost in New York? So what I'm doing here? And then I start to build that crazy thing in my head. And then when the grooms open the door, I say, "Hi, Stam," and then all that is it's gone.
Relax, yeah.
So it's like a lot of the times when you sit there alone, you start to think a lot of things, but then when the reality, when you're facing, is like it's nothing.
Yeah.
No, I think you're right. I think being alone is you get stuck in your own thoughts and it does mess you up.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now.
So get a hamster called Rosie.
We've got a hamster called Rosie. She's lovely, but she's a shit pet, to be fair, because she's asleep most of the time. In fact, she came out last night to see me. I gave her a bit of carrot and she walked off.
Bitch.
She's like opposite to Max, where Max is like super hyper.
He was mental this morning when I went to see him. He's just bonkers, that dog.
Did he still? Did he still?
No, he's calmed down a lot. He's actually he's good with me. He still will. I keep him on the leash the whole time, but yeah, he's still a bit bonkers and a bit crazy. But that's what he is. He's
just being a dog.
He's being a boxer dog, and he doesn't mean any harm to it. He's one of these guys that doesn't mean any harm to anybody. He just causes a bit of problems because he's just a bit of a dick sometimes. Don't know where he gets it from. Right.
Next question.
Yes.
Other than buying a small little house on a small little Greek island, aside from that, what other things are on your bucket list?
Bucket list.
Things that you want to do before you die.
I think like my very, very top, it would be, I would love to have my own photography exhibition.
Ooh, okay.
Like, like when we're traveling to Europe, and it's lucky. That's one thing I love about being in Europe, that it's so much of galleries and exhibitions and art and all those things, and we always like visit all those places. And every single time that when I visit the exhibition, I'm like, oh my God, I would love to have my work up there.
Your own
someday.
Stam Chana Fine art.
My own
pet photography.
Yeah, exactly.
In the gallery. No, that would be cool. Oh, I like
that.
So
that would be like my dream to have my own exhibitions.
I think we can make that happen.
Yeah.
I really think you should make that happen. I think that's something you can grab in a very short space of time.
Yeah.
And in fact, I will talk about something afterwards.
And if you were based in Europe, for example, obviously that brings you closer to
yes,
sort of
and that's
that.
one of the main things as well.
Can I ask a question? We've asked this question about what you want to do or what's on your bucket list to every guest we've ever interviewed. Do Thais have a similar thing? Because we call it a bucket list, so things you want to do before you die.
Yes.
Is there something?
Yes,
is it the same
exactly
thing?
the same.
Yeah, okay.
Same word, same thing.
Is it translated as bucket list or is it translated
Not
as...
the bucket list, but that we do have like, things you want to do before you die.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's
basically
exactly those kind of words,
Yes.
because we call it the bucket list because the expression is you're going to kick the bucket, which means, sorry Russell, you're going to die soon. That's where the expression comes from. So you're going to kick the bucket.
Okay.
So that's where the word bucket list comes from. I just wondered if there was anything. I never...
No?
Yeah, we have things like, things you want to do before you die, basically in Thai.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Anything
that is
else?
one of my very, very top. It's actually also like, being, and also having freedom of financially.
Yeah. Financial freedom.
Financial freedom, yeah.
Financial freedom.
No, I like my bills. I like paying bills every month.
And that will open up the door of a lot of my dreams.
They do say that money can't make you happy, and all I say is I just want a chance to prove that money can't make me happy.
I reckon it can make me happy.
Or it can make me miserable in places I want to be.
Yeah, very true.
But it's actually, we are like, we can find a lot of different ways to make us happy, and I'm pretty like feeling blessed and happy in my own life at the moment. But a lot of lifestyle and a lot of things that I want to do, you need money. Being to travel, being to all those things. So yeah.
Although to be fair, even if you had the money right now, you couldn't travel. But that's another story entirely.
Well, you can travel, and you can stay in very nice hotels. It just costs you a lot more nowadays. Well, there we go.
Well, at the moment is every hotel is like 80% off. So at least
Now's
this is
the
a
time
good time.
Yeah,
if you want
wish I had the
to-
money to go and do that.
Well,
Damn
in
you.
Bangkok, like all the hotel is 80%
Super cheap,
off. It's super cheap. So
Well,
Field
okay.
trip.
Stam's top tip: go to Bangkok right now. So there's lots of super cheaps there.
And if you're going to Bangkok, leave your dog with me at k9pointacademy.com.
Oh, that's right. Well done.
Nicely segued in there. I want to talk to you about my beach club.
Stam, thank you very much for being on our podcast. We wish you every success with your new venture and new business. We'll put all the links in the description. I don't know why I'm pointing down.
Like they're doing YouTube. YouTube.
Pointing
Please
down.
subscribe.
Please subscribe. Like us on Facebook. That's the outro. No, wish you every success. We will support it as much as we can. I'm sure that with knowing Russell with his dog training facility up at K9 Point, that there is a collaboration between the two that can definitely work out there. And I think that's how we all have to collaborate and work together in this
100%.
crazy times we're in. So I think that there is a collaboration between you guys. So I wish you both very good luck. And I'm going to... I don't know where this has come from.
Neither do I. But thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thank
you.
you.
It wasn't a long
Thanks
hour,
for
was
having
it?
me.
It went really quickly.
I know.
Stam,
I thought it's going to be a lot longer.
Ah, bless you. Thank you, Stam.
Thank you, Stam.
Thank you.
Thanks, Russell.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, bye. Welcome to the outro.
Welcome to the outro.
That was Stam.
That was the lovely Stam.
She's lovely. She's leaving now. We can be...
Now we can be honest.
say what you actually want to say. No, bless her. She's very cool, actually. I do like her.
I've got a lot of time for both of them. They're brilliant.
They are. They're a lovely couple.
I'm trying to remember. I remember one of the... obviously, it was at a wedding where we first met. And one of the first ones was at Sava. And I remember it specifically because we were doing a group photo. And Liam was on the ladder. And Stam was holding this big sort of thing up. And obviously not being a photographer myself in any stretch. I'll take some pictures with my iPhone and what have you. But it was at Sava, so you've got the lawn, and then you've got the beach and the sun dropping down behind. Now, for me, taking a picture into the sun, I always thought that's a bit of a no-no. So, being the idiot, I remember I turned to Liam to say something along the lines of, is it going to be all right with the sun sort of directly behind? Because you're a photographer, like, what the fuck would you know? And his response was along the lines of, he gave me whatever the name was, I can control the sun. And he just dropped it deadpan, and it was brilliant.
He's God.
That's exactly what I said.
Why didn't he tell us that on his podcast?
So it's all right, I can control the sun, and carried on. I was like, that's fucking genius.
So Stam is about to marry God.
Basically, yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
That's an exclusive.
Yeah. That'd be a good podcast.
No, she is lovely, and she is. We've seen her on her journey of photography, and I think that she's come such a long way from when she first started, and seeing where she is now, and now starting her own business, doing with that own idea, which is a great idea. That's
brilliant.
It is a great idea,
and just with the weddings, because with the way they will often split it. Liam will go off with the bride and do the bride and bridesmaids photography, and she'll go off with the groom and the groomsmen and do the photography there. And she's won awards, and we didn't really touch on this in the podcast. She's won a lot of awards. I mean, they both have for various pictures. And I was going to say they're stunning pictures. Obviously, it goes without saying, but it's really amazing work.
In all fairness, I've got my 15-metre swimming badge sewed onto my trunks.
No, to be fair, I drew a nice picture of a bunny when I was at primary school once.
Did you? Did you very well? How are you, Russ, anyway?
Yeah, good.
Good. How's your week been at K9 Point Academy? Oh, no, that's a
different podcast, I think, yeah.
Did you listen to last week's podcast?
I did, just yesterday or the day before.
It was good, wasn't it?
That was really good.
But then we did launch we teased your new podcast that's coming up, Barkcast.
We did indeed.
Are you going to slurp your coffee now?
I'm going to slurp my coffee. Carry on.
You slurp away. I was going to ask you about what's this new Barkcast all about, Russell?
Barkcast? Good question. It's a short, sharp, sweet podcast, and we're just basically answering lots and lots of questions that are coming in from sort of either clients or just people online that just want to know something about their dog, whether it's a behavioral issue, from a grooming perspective, a training issue, whatever it happens to be. If you want to know something about your dog, to do with your dog, drop us a line, get in touch, Facebook, email, what have you. All the links obviously will be in the on the podcast bits, and we will get around to answering your questions.
Good. We'll tease the podcast for you.
Cool, thank you very much.
We'll put another teaser at the end of this one. If you want to be on the... actually, we were supposed to do Zach this week, so to speak, but I decided to do Stam instead because she is going away, because we're recording this on a Thursday, And yeah, to be fair, she's better looking than Zach. But we're doing Zach next Friday,
Score.
so that'll be good. So we've got Zach in. But we'll tease a podcast, your Barkcast, which will be releasing on the 15th of October.
15th it's coming out.
Is when it's coming out. But if you do have a dog and you need training, or if you need somewhere to board your dog, either short-term or long-term, then you can always go to K9 Point.
They can indeed.
Just go and search it on Facebook, search K9 Point on Facebook, or just go to the website, which is k9pointacademy.com.
Correct. Thank you.
Like us on Facebook, that's Leshark and Friends, or just go to our website, which is
PhuketPodcast.com.
There you go, everything's there. Thanks, Russell.
Cheers, buddy.
Have a lovely week.
I'm going to have an amazing rest of my week.
Are you?
I am. I'll tell you why off air.
Okay, off air. Exciting. Are you going to call me?
No, I'm going to, because I'm sitting in front of you, so I'll just tell you right now.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, bye. This is Barkcast.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Barkcast deals with just about everything dog related. Dog obedience, training, health, owning a dog behaviour and care and nutrition. Each week, your questions will be answered by professional senior trainer and owner of K9 Point Academy, Russell D. Russell, a professional member of the IACP, a registered evaluator with the American Kennel Club, and has trained thousands of dogs across a variety of disciplines. So you're rewarding the dog for barking?
So, yes, with the understanding, I want them to understand. I mean, for example, I could use the word speak. So speak, woof, woof, woof. Be quiet means nothing. I don't woof.
You just mentioned the term raw food. What do you mean by raw food?
So there's quite a big movement in some circles about feeding dogs a raw diet. So the philosophy behind it would be, dogs, generally speaking, don't sit around a fire and cook their food. They just eat the kill raw.
Is it better to adopt or is it better to buy?
It's a real dynamite question, that one.
If you're looking for professional training or somewhere to board your dog, either short or long term, then check out K9 Point Academy. That's k9pointacademy.com, or go to Facebook and search K9 Point Academy.